Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Learn Installment of Scott's Selections here for Thursday, April 8th. Before we get into today's play of the day, a quick recap what happened yesterday. We pick up a nice easy winner with the Hornets minus 4.5, minus 110 on Bet Online. Really never in doubt. Hornets were up 5, I believe, at the half, and then they made it a double-digit game pretty much the entire fourth quarter and coasted to the finish line and route to an 11-point win. So a nice easy winner there. I'll look for another easy winner in the NBA here on Thursday. And for the play of the day, well, if you look at the schedule, there's one team that you know I'm going to fade because I faded them yesterday. I'm going to fade them again. It's a play of the day on a matchup between the Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we like the Cavaliers here -3, and the best line currently available is -110 on Fox Bet. The time recording of 2:18 a.m. Eastern Time. And this game will be taking place at 8 p.m. Eastern Time as well, so if you want to actually keep tabs on it, you can. Now, looking at why I like the Cavs here, first of all, I'm going to warn all of you now, it's going to be a lot of repetition from yesterday's video because it's going to be about why the Thunder are a terrible basketball team. But this line has already started to move, has gone from Cleveland -2 to -3. I do expect a ton of line movement on the Cavs moving forward. Probably should close at around 4.5. But look at Oklahoma City. It has lost 7 of its last 8 games by at least 9 points, lost by 11 yesterday. You're going through the results here. These games aren't close. Oklahoma City is beyond terrible. And Charlotte, even though that team on paper is pretty good based on the record, they're still missing their 3 of their best players, and they really weren't close for the entire second half. And now you're looking at Oklahoma City. I think they might not win a game for the rest of the season, as crazy as that sounds. But you're going through the results once again. Lost by 11 to Charlotte at home. Lost to Detroit at home by 24. Lost to Portland on the road by 48. Lost to Phoenix on the road by 37. I can keep going. There are a lot of really bad results. They beat Toronto in a home game by 10. If you throw that game out, they have not lost a game by single digits since March 29th, and they lost by 9. If you want to go all the way back to the last time that they've actually been somewhat competitive, it was March 22nd when they beat Minnesota. But this team is awful. There's really no other way to put it. And if you want to talk about the injury reports here, Oklahoma City might be even more injured than it was yesterday. Of course, Gilgeous-Alexander's still out. Dort is doubtful of the concussion. Horford's still out because he's old and they don't want to use him. Beasley's still out. Roby's still out. And you also have Pokusevski, who had a career-high 25 points yesterday, made 7 threes. However, he left the game early in the fourth quarter, and he did not return, so he's questionable for this game, and he might be out. So you might have an even more shorthanded team for the Thunder than they had yesterday, which tells all you need to know about why I like the Cavs in this spot. But meanwhile, look at the Cavs. This team has had a lot of injuries all season long. However, relatively healthy for this game. I know that Jared Allen is still out and Larry Nance Jr. is still out. However, you have a healthy Colin Sexton, a healthy Garland, and a healthy Kevin Love. And they really haven't played many games together this season because one of them has been injured. They've kind of been rotating who's been injured, but now they're all healthy. And I do think that Cleveland, once again, with my logic on the Charlotte game yesterday, they have the 3 best players on the court. And I do think that's going to help out the Cavs in this spot. Now, looking at the last game they played, they ended up beating San Antonio on the road by 24 points. Looked really sharp in the process, scored 125 points. Look at the last couple of games before that, they did struggle. They have lost 5 of their last 6. However, you look at the competition that they've actually faced, pretty difficult. Played at Miami, lost. Played at home against Philly, lost. On the road against the Jazz, lost. All 3 of those teams are playoff teams, potentially capable of winning multiple rounds in the playoffs. Lost to Sacramento on the road by 2. Sacramento's a fringe play-in team in the Western Conference. Only lost by 2, though. Arguably should have won the game. And then they played the Lakers, lost on the road by 14. Pretty terrible showing there. Lakers still technically a playoff team, but of course they're extremely shorthanded. But going through the last a couple of games, pretty difficult strength of schedule. And the one bottom feeder they played in San Antonio has fallen apart. They've dominated. So I do think Cleveland should take care of business. Looking at that Spurs game, Darius Garland had 37. Sexton had 22. If you by any chance did watch the Thunder game yesterday, their backcourt cannot defend anybody, whether it's Williams, whether it's Maledon, whether it's Mikhailuk. They can't guard anyone. And I do think Garland and Sexton should have a field day getting a lot of easy looks there. Plus Kevin Love on the boards, still playing limited minutes, about 28 minutes or so since he came back from injury, but 9 points, 8 rebounds in that game. Still a great rebounder. It's one of the only things that he can actually do. You look at Oklahoma City, they really don't have many bodies. You have Moses Brown at the center position, who was awful yesterday, but he can still rebound a little bit. But the Cavs still have Kevin Love, who's great at rebounding, and you still have Hartenstein off the bench, who had 16 and 12 in 27 minutes in that game against the Spurs. So I do think the Cavs have enough big bodies to dominate the boards, and I do think that the backcourt should be a huge advantage for the Cavs en route to a nice, easy win. Now, looking at some trends for this matchup here, the Cavs are 4-0 ATS in their last 4 road games versus a team with a losing home record. And the Cavs are also 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games played on 2 days rest. So I talked about Oklahoma City played yesterday, now in a back-to-back. Cleveland has not played since the Spurs game, which was 2 days ago. So Cleveland has a huge rest advantage in the spot. I do think the Cavs will do enough in order to win this game by at least 7 points or so. I know the Cavs are a terrible team, and you might be scared to back them. But if this Oklahoma City team lost back-to-back games to Charlotte, who's completely injured, by 11, and Detroit, who's awful, by 24, both games at home, the Cavs should be laying a lot more points than 3. So the play there, once again, here for Thursday, April 8th, is going to be on the Cavs, -3 and -110 on Fox Bet. That's been this installment of Scott's Looking to all of you and respect the best today. Bye, everyone.